Right, well, here we are. I'm Matt Lina, and today we're going to be doing something different. I received a note recently asking for life advice. I've removed all of the personally identifiable information from it and figured that I would share it with all of you that have a chance to watch in case you know someone who has found him or herself in a similar situation. The note is from A, and A writes this: Hey Matt, my name is A. I dropped out of college and live with my mom and my brother. I spend all day walking anywhere from 3 to 12 miles. I read, I make music, I talk to the few friends I have. I'm grateful for what I have, but don't know how anyone is supposed to sustain himself in this world. If my mom dies, I might be homeless. How do I make a living? I love making and sharing music, but I don't want to charge anyone because I feel like I'm doing the right thing by doing what I do for free. I don't know what I should do with my life. What do you think? What should I do? Love, A. Now, this is a tall order. This is an absolutely tall order. And I could have all sorts of suggestions. But it's tough. On one hand, I'm glad you reached out to me, and on the other hand, it's a big responsibility to be reached out to like this, so I want to make sure that I give at least an adequate answer for you. After all, I don't know you particularly well. I only know what's in this paper here and the other stuff that you've told me that would be personally identifiable, and I want to respond with something useful for you. So I'm going to try to answer in some useful generalities, and hopefully you'll be able to get some of what you need from what I'm sharing. Firstly, I'm happy to hear that you're living with your mother, that you're living with someone who cares for you. I'm also sorry that nowhere in your note to me was there a single mention of having a suitable father figure around. So, I'm going to be politically incorrect here for a bit and suggest that some of the best advice I can possibly give you is distilled from things that I've learned either from seeing my father's example or from hearing him, or from older male role models in my life. And these are the same kinds of things that I'm trying to pass down to my own children. And I'm only sorry that I couldn't have gotten this information to you sooner, like a decade or more sooner, but it's better to get this stuff late than never. Anyhow, after having given your question a lot of careful thought, here are a few things that I might dare to suggest. And the first one, and the biggest one, is get a job. Any job. Washing dishes, sweeping floors, flipping hamburgers, tutoring, manual labor. Anything that's legal and moral, get a job. Why am I saying that? There's lots of people will just go say get a job and then they won't give any reason. But there's a very good reason for getting a job. Because the first thing is it forces you to take care of yourself. Because currently it seems like you're lacking somewhat of a sense of direction. And because of that, I'm assuming that your days aren't particularly structured in terms of doing anything that's actually meaningful. So it'll force you to take care of yourself. It'll force you to have a manageable schedule. It'll force you to have something to wake up and do. It'll force you to show up on time, and that means 15 minutes early. It'll force you to be diligent in your work whether you like it or not. It'll force you to take pride in your work. It'll force you to do a good job with whatever it is you're doing. It will force you to make an honest dollar. And if you ever need to break down productivity in its constituent components, getting a job and figuring out how to keep it is a good way of internalizing that. It helps you make a habit of being productive by breaking down productivity into its constituent components and figuring them all out. So how do you get a job? You look for job postings, you apply for them, you ask people if they know if someone is hiring. And when you get invited to interview, you show up. You show up in a presentable fashion. You brush your teeth, you comb your hair, you wear clean clothes, you have good posture. And since you'll likely be applying for an entry-level job, be willing to learn. Be willing to work hard. And articulate to your potential employer that you are willing to learn and you are willing to work hard, and make sure they get that out of the interview. The only thing that you really need to do to stand out is actually doing the work. So many people will show up and expect to get something for nothing. If you show up ready to do the work, eventually someone will hire you. And then, once you get the job, after however many interviews it takes, once you get the job, learn and work hard. Ask about how to improve your work. Get feedback. Ask, how do I advance myself in this environment? Figure out how to chart a trajectory upwards, but realize that getting a job is the first step in terms of being able to produce and to provide. And even if you wind up in a dead-end job, realize it's only a starting point. You can learn appropriate skills later, but you don't need to worry about that now. For now, just get a job. Now, you have the added benefit of essentially having your living expenses paid for. But I'm going to tell you something that a whole lot of my listeners will probably hate and tell me that I'm being a jerk or a hard ass or whatever, and they can think whatever they think, and they can unsubscribe, and they can downvote, and they can do whatever they want. But I'm saying, as long as you're living with your mother, whatever your income is, set aside 30% of it post-tax, 30% of your post-tax income to pay for things around the house, even if she's not charging you anything. Set aside 30% of your post-tax income to pay for things. This is money you will either directly give her, or you will use around the house for home improvement projects, buying food, paying the rent or mortgage, or even if your mom doesn't need it, just paying your way because it's the right thing to do. So firstly, set aside 30% of your income and give that to your mom. Secondly, since you're at a lower level job, you're likely not going to be making too much money, but set aside another 30% of your income, or whatever the annual maximum is, and put it in a Roth IRA. I can't tell you how to invest your Roth IRA. I'm not an investment expert, and I could get in trouble for telling, but at some other point I could maybe make a video, or we could talk individually about some of the investment decisions I've made. But I'm not going to tell you in this video how to invest. Just realize that low-cost S&P 500 tracking funds, things like that, are they're out there. And yes, so set aside 30% of your income for investing in your Roth IRA, and anything above that, anything if 30% of your income is beyond what the Roth can take, then start an investment account, probably some sort of a self-directed account, so you can invest in all sorts of different other things, but invest that 30%. Donate 10% of your income to a cause you believe in, a church, charity, whatever, and donate 10% of your time to help those in a worse situation than you're in. You know, if you're working 40 hours a week, spend 4 hours doing something for someone else. You can do your stuff for free, but I guarantee you 10% of something is a whole lot of all of a whole lot less. It's more than a whole lot of, how do I say this? 10% of something is better than all of something that's very, very, very small. 4 hours of your time, when you know how to be productive, is worth more than a week of your time spinning your wheels. So getting a job kind of turns you into the person that is focused on solving problems, being productive, helping those around you in tangible ways. And this 10%, you expect nothing in return. You say that you feel like you're doing the right thing by doing what you do for free. Well, that is your for free. Giving of your time and giving of your money. That's perfectly do that. Now, you're left with 30% of your post-tax income. You can blow it. You can start a business with it. You can save it for a rainy day. You can invest it. You can buy lottery tickets with. I don't know, and there are things that I would do, but I'm not going to tell you how to spend that other 30%. It's up to you how you use it. So you made it, so use it wisely. Now that we've dealt with the money issue, we've dealt with the job issue, and I'm not saying this is an easy thing, but I'm saying that it's at least to some extent workable. Now getting the job might be very difficult to begin with. But once you have done that, and once you're in a stable situation, realize that you need to have it be maintainable. Those habits need to be maintainable. So how do you do that? How do you maintain the habits that you're starting? 1, every night before bed, assess your day. What went well? What didn't go well? And make a to-do list for tomorrow. You can also have a pad of paper and pencil next to your bed, so that if you wake up in the middle of the night and you have some sort of an idea or something that's stuck in your head, you can write it down and know, I'll return to this tomorrow. It's okay. I don't need to lose sleep over this idea. I can go back to sleep. And then, the next morning, your to-do list, your assessment, everything that you wrote down the previous night, everything that you wrote down on the pad next to your bed, read it. The to-do list, while you're going through it, remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing. You're taking responsibility for living well. Even if all you have to do in a whole day is go to work, wash dishes all day, come home, make dinner, give your mother a massage, talk to your friends, and go to bed. If that's all you're doing, then give it your absolute best. Remember, you're washing dishes so that the customers that are eating off the dishes will have a clean, sanitary dining experience. And your boss, your employer, will make money. And your employer will then pay you some of that money. And you will be able to take care of yourself. You'll be able to take care of your mother. You'll be able to take care of your family. You'll be able to bring something to the table to help out the woman who gave birth to you and supported you through your entire life. Okay, and you go and you take everything that you do and you pull it back to that reason. There are other things I would suggest, but this is probably the biggest first step you can take at this point. I would encourage you, if you have any follow-up questions, leave them in the comment section below. And if any one of you that isn't A happens to have any other questions, you can hit me up with a private message on Quora. You can you can write something in the comments section below. Definitely share this video with anyone that you think might be able to use it. And remember, I'm just some guy behind a screen. And I would like to be there for you, and I would like to do all these things for you, but ultimately, I can't live your life for you. So, you can get inspiration, you can get advice, but try to surround yourself with a group of people that are making the right kinds of choices and will drag you in the right direction. Surround yourself with the right kinds of people. Now, I'm not much into the unabashed self-promotion, but if you think that this would be useful, please do give this a thumbs up. Please do share this, and please do comment, because these are the kinds of things that I actually want to get spread out into the world amidst all of the insanity. I'd like to at least be able to give some touchstone and maybe some hope and some sense of direction for people like you, who are in the middle of such a crisis and are searching. Thank you all for making this channel what it is, for your participation, for your watching, and I salute you for getting to the end of this video. It was actually a very difficult one for me to make, but man, I hope it has the desired effect. We'll see ya. Wish you all the best.